Spin with Teek and get your teeth beyond the beat. Beyond the beat. I done took a different road, yeah, I made it, I'm on my way.
All right. Yo, welcome to the weekly close with CIC, where realtors keep it real and drop the knowledge you need about today's market. I'm your host, Teek the Agent, and every week we're breaking it down the wins, the lessons, and the moves you make to buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Let's get it. Who we have here first?
Hello, hello. It's Akai again.
And then we have.
Hey, it's Renee.
All right. We're going to talk about a couple things here. We're going to go through entertainment. We're going to go through the market. We're going to go through some personal things that we go through on I don't want to say a weekly basis, but we are going through it and we want to provide you guys some insights.
Let's say on an escrow basis because it's literally each escrow.
Yes, we're going through some things. I would some are challenges and some aren't, but we'll go through those.
Yeah.
First up, we're going to talk about the market. So nationally, home prices are leveling out. Here in Phoenix, home values are actually down about 4 to 5% compared to last year. This isn't a crash; it's more like a market cooling off after years of running hot. For buyers, that mean you may have some breathing room. For sellers, it may mean strategy is key. So what are we seeing out there right now, okay?
So right now I am seeing it's still the buyers that are kind of like on the fence. I think the recent rate drop was helpful. However, it's still not that 5% mark or that, in the 5 point whatever range, 5 to 6. Anything below 6, I think is going to invite a couple more buyers to the table and get them off the fence. So right now, I'm working with about 3 buyers that are still saying, wait, I want to wait, the rates are going to drop. So what I'm hearing and what I'm reading, they're supposed to drop again 2 more times
Oh,
before the end
wow.
of the year. We don't know if that's going to be a quarter of a point. We just don't know. So I'm going to stick with those clients right now. We still going to kind of be building relationship, looking for what it is that they want to do, what it is that they're looking for in a home, just to keep them warm or keep them hot in the market and just wait for the rates to come down to a point to where they are comfortable. And what I am noticing is I'm having to have more conversations with people about not what the rate is, but like how much house you can afford monthly. Like, what are you comfortable with paying monthly? And so we are kind of like going back and forth. I have one client in particular I'm going back and forth with as it relates to the monthly affordability. So right now you're paying $1,900, $2,000 in rent, right? If you put an extra $200-300 on that, you can afford a home. And so I'm kind of having to go through numbers and what that looks like for those clients who are already paying a lot of money in rent. There's no return on that. It's actually not even an investment. Of course, everybody has to have a roof over their head, but there's no ROI for renting. And so when you're talking about return on your investment, that's purchasing. And so if you can afford $200-300 more per month, you could definitely buy and own your own home. So that's kind of like what I'm seeing now. It's all about what the rates are. People are afraid to kind of just get off the fence and get into the market. But everybody's, when is a good time to buy? Now, today,
Right.
because 5 years from now, homes are going to be more expensive and monthly affordability is still going to be your number one concern.
Exactly.
So what we want to do is educate buyers more on it's not about because I feel like they feel like it's more about the sales aspect, like this is a car dealership, like it's a commission based position, and we just want to get you in the house to get you in the house, and that's not it. What we see more now that we have our license and we're able to dig more into the market is that this is beneficial for you. So when you see something that's beneficial, we want to make sure that we're spreading the word, because these are things that we didn't know prior to being a licensed agent. So if we see a good deal and we see that you're throwing your money away in rent and you're not building equity, it becomes personal for us, almost like we want to see you win. So we want to educate you on why it's better to buy than to rent.
Absolutely. I think the opposite. Y'all know how they say, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Hmm.
I think here with us, it's the opposite. We are here for a long time, not just a good time. We're here for, for you to win. Of course, we're going to be your biggest cheerleaders, but we're here for a long time. We are here to make sure you have exactly what you need. You are well informed with the facts, with the data, to make the best decision that you need to make for you and your family.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, we know that the entertainment world drives everything, because everyone is always watching what entertainers are doing, right? What celebrities are doing as far as when it comes to purchases and those kind of things. And if you guys are not watching, most real estate agents, brokers, we do, we watch that. So one recent big move was Jennifer Lopez. So she reportedly purchased a new home near LA for about 18 million following her finalizing her divorce with Ben Affleck. And I know, like, for agents, like, we provide classes, like there's classes out there to discuss what to do in a divorce and that kind of thing, because a lot of people don't know how to divide up their house, because you're gonna have to sell your house, and you both are going to have to find somewhere to live and stuff like that. So it's funny being an agent now that we look at that like, okay, what's going on in the relationship? What y'all finna do with y'all house? Like, it's not to not be sympathetic over what's happening with your relationship, but at the end of the day, we still continue to help both clients, right? Even if we sold to you and you were married and you were happy, we sold you your first dream house, and then now you're getting a divorce. We still want to make sure we maintain those relationships. Um, so these aren't just lifestyle purchases; they're signals. When a celebrity buys or sells, it can change how people see a neighborhood, trigger renovations, and even alter the local luxury market. So I don't know how old you guys are, but I remember back when they used to have what's it called, celebrity houses, MTV Cribs.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Oh
gosh!
yeah.
So MTV Cribs used to drive everything. So even
Yes.
though we know it was kind of, not all true, because some of these people were renting Airbnbs before we knew what Airbnbs were, before we knew what that was. So it's funny how we'll look at these shows and we're like, oh my God, I need to update my kitchen. Oh my God, I need to update my bathroom, because Lil John got this thing that he sit on, and that kind of thing. So we do, sales are derived from celebrities, and what we see and what we hear. They do set the tone for what's modern. Say, for instance, the new paneling that everybody is putting on their wall and that kind of thing, that's derived from celebrities.
And
We see things, and then we want to update and use them, and you know everything is derived from what we see.
I'm going to age myself with this one. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I remember
that
that.
too. No,
Girl,
we
you ain't aging
remember.
nothing. That's
We yeah.
that's all of us. I remember that show. But I am going to be on the opposing side of this. I hate those shows. I didn't like them then, and I don't like them now, because it gives people a false sense of reality
Yes.
as it relates to home ownership.
Yes.
Most of those people
Right.
were renting.
but
They were
see,
not.
but
Those
see,
were not
back
their homes.
back then when they were airing and coming on every week, we didn't know that. So it
That's
is a
true.
false narrative. We
Mhm.
thought, oh my God, look at this big house that looked like it never been lived in, and then
And it
20
never
years
been lived
later
in.
they coming out saying, oh, that was a rental. Oh, that wasn't
Mhm.
mine, or that.
Yeah.
So it does give the false narrative, and that's why we're here. Like, thank God for podcasts and those kind of streaming. Um, on
Don't get
online,
mad at
because
us
we
for
can tell.
exposing y'all secrets, y'all.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but we know
it's
that
not theirs.
I've learned a long time ago that things aren't what they seem,
But
but
that's
it-
then, right?
yeah,
Let's talk about now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like the selling sunsets and the, you know,
Oh,
those
Property
reality,
Brothers.
yeah, the reality TV shows. Now, Property Brothers, I'll give them their props. They're not pretending. Like they are literally going into these homes and renovating them,
yes,
and they look amazing.
yes,
They're not pretending, but it's like the shows where they're showing the glamorous part of real estate for
yeah.
people,
We want to
and
see the
people's
nasty.
expectations now are, oh, when I walk into a house, I want a gold bidet in my
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
You know, that's the expectation of
Right,
buyers now. Well, let's talk about your budget. Can you actually afford that?
right,
You know, like when you go into these houses, oh, I want 14, 15 feet ceilings. Like, can you afford that? You know, when you
yeah,
walk into a home and you want a turnkey home with all of the fixings, the built-ins, you know, the built-in bookcases, like you want the whole backyard totally renovated with a pool, outdoor kitchen, like is that in your budget?
right.
Or
So
are
just
you looking for a glass of champagne on a beer budget taste? You know, like
right.
it's just not realistic.
You really have to be practical with what you can afford,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have it all
Mm-hmm.
if you got the budget. Right.
Right.
Like, and if you're looking at TV for this, like most of them have the budget
Mm-hmm.
to knock out the whole house and start a new one,
Yep.
so just keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind that it takes money. And in the beginning of your transaction, knowing what you want and knowing that my house, if I'm not getting it from, built from the ground up, it's going to need some work. Like, yeah, you want to do the 80-20 rule. I'm going to get 80% of what I want, and 20% I might have to update later. So it's being realistic about the numbers as well. If you can afford it, you can afford it, but really working out that budget of, yes, I want to get a loan for 400,000, but it might need $100,000 worth of work. Not need, these are wants. You
Mm-hmm.
want to upgrade. So you can take 30 years and figure it out, or you're going to spend that $100,000 on a front end, where instead of a $400,000 house, now I'm looking for a $500,000 house. So yeah, numbers are important.
Yeah, and with those type of shows, they don't show you that um, they look at 60, 70, 80 houses. They show you the top 3 houses that the person has looked at. So you get a false sense of, oh, I'm going to find my dream home in the first couple of houses that I look at.
Mhm.
And we have to get out of that expectation.
Well, that's why I'm so transparent as an agent. Even me and Keisha do ride-alongs a lot, and I let her see that yes, we took this client on 10 runs, and they picked out one, and we're excited, and we're gonna put in an offer, and soon as I get in my car, I get a text message to say that's not the one. And I'm just laughing because I'm just like, this happens so often. It doesn't, do anything to my mental that it did in the beginning. As a newer agent, it messes with your mental, right? Because you like, we just had this conversation, but it's okay. People change their mind. People go home and talk to their families, and they're like, they second guess it, and it's totally fine. But as newer agents, we need to get our mental together and to know that that's going to happen. So every time I get that, which I think I've gotten about 3 times with Keisha, I screenshot it and then I send it to her. Or Renee, I send it to her. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, this happens, right? So
Yes.
just mentally knowing as a new agent, as any agent, that people change their mind often. At the end of the day, people are people and will be people.
Yeah, you're asking yourself, oh my goodness, what happened between the kitchen and the car? Because they
Mhm.
change their mind just that fast, right? But just like we tell our buyers and sellers to set a realistic level of expectation, we have to set that same expectation for the clients that we deal with. I think that it's unrealistic for agents to expect that, this person's coming to you. Yes, they want to buy, they're excited, they want to see all these homes, but maybe there's some part of their finances that can't afford that, and you don't know that. So you're excited with them going to look at these $500,000 homes, and then boom, they can't do it because they have this old charge off or something on their account where where the credit score don't meet the requirements for the mortgage. So we have to set a level of expectations for ourselves as agents as well, to understand that Yes, this is very exciting for everybody in the beginning, but just like they can change their minds, we have to understand that they have the right to change their mind. They can do it. We just both have to manage the expectations accordingly.
So just being emotionally equipped.
Detached, I'm gonna say it, emotionally detached. It's fun. It's really good to, be involved emotionally and mentally with your client as they're going through this process, because it's a process and everybody wants the feel goods and the butterflies, but it's not a very easy process for a lot of people. Some people it is. It's like, hey, I got all my ducks in a row. It's good. Some people it's not. And you just have to be able to manage it either way.
Right. Because a
Right.
lot of times it's not the client that the pushback is coming from. A lot of time it's their children, it's other people that aren't even going to be responsible for um, paying for the home that have the pushback that makes the client kind of push back as well.
Yeah. Speaking of personal experience, we have a situation where, you know, kid, grown adult kid, not even staying with the parents that's downsizing, right? They're going from one big house because they don't need as much space. And the grown adult child that may drop their kids off to mom and dad for a weekend has say on what the wash and dryer look like. Are you gonna be doing laundry in that wash and dryer? Or no, I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend.
Agents, just prepare your mental for the things. But to be honest, this is why we all get together and talk, because it balances out our sanity so we can restart and be available for the next client. So it's very important that you have a sounding board and you have a team with around you that you can bounce these kind of things off of. It definitely helps with our mental.
It does.
So, all right, y'all, let's talk about something that can flip a buyer's dream home into a nightmare real quick. Those last minute lender surprises right before close of escrow. You know what I'm talking about. The emails, the phone calls, the extra paperwork that seems to come out of nowhere. How can how can we protect ourselves from that? Like, or can we protect ourselves for that? How do we prepare our client?
I don't even know if that's something we can quote unquote protect ourselves from necessarily, because that's not our lane. Like, the lenders, the mortgage side, they have their process, we have our process, and sometimes things happen on their side that we cannot control. We just have to do a better job at making sure we are not putting our clients into fight or flight mode, right? We have to filter some of the information to our clients in a way where they could take it and not be afraid of the transaction, and it kills the deal. So I mean, the lenders though, that's a whole story for a whole nother day. What I'm running into now are lenders that are making a whole lot of promises that they just cannot keep. And if you understand the mortgage side of it, I mean, again, I'm not a mortgage broker or anything like that, but I understand it enough to be able to explain it to my client. And it is just not, they are just not living up to the hype. So it's so important that we as agents educate our clients on what their rights are as it relates to the lenders, because surprises can come up all the time. We have to prepare our clients. Hey, have these documents ready before we get to an underwriting process or a loan processing process. Let's prepare our clients on having these documents ready. Just make sure you just have this in your back pocket just in case they ask for it. But the surprises are going to happen. Unfortunately, now with some of these fly-by-night mortgage and loan officers, it's happening too often.
Okay, Akai. Your client needs $7,000 to close per your lender today. You close next week. You just got notification. How do you explain that to your client? Go.
What? Wait. Okay. $7,000. We're scheduled to close escrow next week. That's a topic for another day. Do we have time to talk about it?
Oh,
Because
no.
okay, yeah, because that is a nightmare in itself. Again, you have to, filter what you tell your clients. So we're gonna have to like peel the layers back for that topic.
Awesome.
Okay.
I hear you. All right.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. You've been rocking with the weekly close with CIC. Real agents, real stories, real talk. Catch us next week. Same time, new gym. Stay locked in.
right.
Bye.
Take it. Beyond the beat, slow feet don't eat. You went and made it, was your story. Beyond the beat, come talk with Teek. We all can make it, share your story. Beyond the beat, beyond, beyond, way beyond the beat, beyond, beyond, beyond the beat. Tap in with Teek. Tap in with Teek and get your Teek.